Good day and welcome back everybody again to another fine episode here at the Artist's Corner, where I, Mr. Dave Joyner, bring you fine drawing tutorials on a regular basis. Let's go ahead and jump in here with the inking. We're going to be using the Micron .05 pen, and we're going to start in with our little fisherman. Keep your line work simple. The fisherman's detail really isn't that necessary. He's very far away, and you can still find a lot of detail just when you go back in later to do the shading or to add color. Remember, the grass is very angular. I'm not going to put a lot of detail into the fishing pole. We all know it's a fishing pole. There's sort of just the idea of what a fishing pole really looks like is simple. It's just the little dots along the pole really kind of represent the holes that the fishing line goes through. I think I'm about done on the fisherman. I'm going to go ahead and get ready to move on. I'm going to work on some of this grass, remembering the angles, and I think I'm going to go ahead and start on the tree. I don't think I'm going to have enough time to finish all the inking on this particular tutorial. It ran just a little bit more than 12 minutes, and I want to try to keep these tutorials under 10. I'm going to make that as my average. We're going to go ahead and do the rest of the grass on the dark side of the tree, and then I'm going to go ahead and jump into doing the illustrating of the shadow work that we were coloring in. Just remember that keep it loose. You really can't go wrong here. The more you circle, the more you outline, the more detailed the bark is going to appear. Try not to become too rhythmic. It's best to just really keep the shape very organic. So try not to repeat yourself. And remember, our light source is coming from the sun over there, so this is the time when you can go in and start to correct your shading mistakes and adding bits of shading where it's needed. And as we know that there's a color or light mid-tone that would be located in this section of the tree, and then over here we have our light source. So we're going to go ahead and illustrate the line work, where on the other side of this line would be probably a different color, maybe yellow or white even. You could even do white if this is a black and white illustration. Again, though, this could easily turn into a watercolor piece or the beginning of an oil painting. You can see I put a little bit of grass on these little hills in the distance over here, and we're going to go ahead and find the water line in here. The trees in the distance as well. we're going to go ahead and start inking the mountains. It's best to just ink the outline that we've now created, because we know that we're going to come back in and start to pull some of the mountains forward and push some of the mountains back. This is where you want to start to slow down and take your time. So I may end up doing a video just on the mountains and the clouds. If you guys would like to see a tutorial finishing off this particular illustration, I will do a part 3. Otherwise, we'll move on to something else after this one's over. That's the rough idea for the mountains. But we would come back in and do a lot more detail. I may even find a smaller pen to really look and find some of those tinier details. Let's zoom out and take a little bit of a look at what we've got to work with. You can see I've actually added some pencil in here. Let's come over here and we're going to work on the truck just a little bit and this ridge line of trees. Get my camera fixed here. Alright. Again, this truck is what it is. It's a hybrid of some sort of combination of vehicles. It's looks kind of like I mixed together a BMW and a Chevy pickup. Anyway, you draw what you want to draw. If I had wanted to take it seriously, I would have went and actually got a model truck out and drawn from that. I don't practice drawing just trucks and vehicles, so that's not my forte. That's not the thing I do. Some people spend a lot of time on just trucks and things like that and vehicles, but my thing is landscapes and people. So and here's a little pathway coming back in here with some more tall grass behind the vehicle. Try to speed this up just a little bit so that we can actually get the whole illustration done in our time frame that we have to work within. So we're going to find some tiny trees. These are going to take a little bit more effort, I think, to really bring them to life. But I don't think we'll have time for all of that today. Again, when I said earlier, if you would like to see this tutorial completely finished, let me know in the comments, and I will do a part 3. So you can come in here and kind of find trees. You can see I'm locating more trees in the further distance. Let's go ahead and try to get this truck worked on a little. You can see I'm stepping outside of the original pencil illustration just a little. There's some lines I didn't really like, so I'm going to go ahead and add lib, just sort of creating on the fly. You too can create on the fly, but you gotta watch it. Sometimes you start creating stuff just on the go, and unless you're really willing to accept that your mistakes can be fixed or changed, then yeah, I'd really watch that. I think new artists should really stick to the very tightly drawn thumbnails or tightly drawn illustration. Because when you're working with the ink pen, it's just, you're going to jump outside you see here, look at the front end on this truck here. This is some weird combination of vehicles. I did notice when I was illustrating this truck, though, that I had made a bit of an error in the thickness of the windshield. It's not. It's because I made the windshield a little too narrow. Makes the vehicle look narrow. So I'm going to actually widen the windshield just a little. That'll give it the effect that I'm looking for. Interesting technique to make lights. Yeah, that really looks like some sort of Rolls Royce or something, doesn't it? You can see I widened the windshield just a little bit there, and I think that made the difference. I think that did. Except I needed to. There's still some more work to do on the vehicle to give it the full look that we're going for, but it looks beefy, that's for sure. Anyway, so this is our illustration. I hope you enjoyed it. Here is a little extra finished. And I hope to see you again here for another episode of The Artist's Corner. Thank you,